I never in a million years would have thought I would be wearing an eye patch, but here we are. I'm gonna take this off because my eye is mostly better. This video is to talk about 1 week later post-vitrectomy surgery for retinal detachment and repair. I made a video a week ago, which was really cathartic. This channel, normally I talk about cars, and I'm actually gonna talk about a car in a minute, but I recently just went through a really rough time with a retinal detachment and vitrectomy surgery, actually 2 surgeries. So in my panic, and if you're watching this, maybe you're in the same place, I began looking and reading and researching and seeing what other people had experienced, and really was comforted by so many videos on YouTube and people, articles and stuff. So I thought, I'll make my own. I've got probably someone will run into this and maybe it will encourage you as I was encouraged by others. But I am 1 week later from the surgery, the second surgery. I'll talk about that. And I just was going to share with you kind of some things that I've learned in the last week that kind of helped me get through the first week because it was rough. I am unkempt, the hair, the beard, you kind of have a week that you kind of can't do much. And so I may not look great. My eye is getting there. It was looked horrible a week ago, but much better now. I had a 180-degree tear. It was $8,200. I have a high deductible, so that's how much I put on my credit card in the last week. Wow. And fortunately, I just sold a car, so that will pay for my eye being fixed. And yeah, my injury was the $8,200 was when they discovered the retinal detachment, which I described in the last video. They also discovered a very early onset cataract, and the doctor that was going to repair the retina said, I don't want to work on you until you've had your lens replaced because I can see a lot better to fix the retina once the lens is replaced. And he said also, when we do the vitrectomy, it will pretty much usually almost always leads to a cataract. So he said, let's just fix your lens now and then do the vitrectomy. So those 2 surgeries together were quite expensive. Cataract surgery was nothing, a breeze. I mean, it was like a Band-Aid, super easy. The vitrectomy, however, really, really, really sucked. And they're all different. And, one of the questions, if you're watching this, you might be asking is, how did this happen to me? Some people, it happens from eye trauma. Some people, they have diabetes. Some people are just very old and they need this, that, their body, their eye breaks down. For me, I'm young, healthy, active, had no trauma, had no diabetes, no pre-existing conditions that would kind of lend to this. My doctor just said, you're just very unlucky. And so, that took some emotional and mental strength to get through. But I had the surgery a week ago, the second one, the vitrectomy. It was 7 days of laying down, face up. Thank goodness, not face down. I was face up for 7 days, 23 out of 24 hours. And it was rough. The first 3 days was very, very painful. And then I noticed around day 3 or 4, the pain started subsiding. My swelling started going down. My eye started looking okay again instead of looking like a zombie eye. And the pain got tolerable. And so I went to my 1 week post-op appointment yesterday, and the doctor said, excellent, you've done great laying down. The gas bubble in your eye is causing the healing that it's supposed to, and you can now go to light duty. So he still encouraged me to make sure I'm laying down 8 hours a day, but I am able to go to walking around and doing things, nothing heavy. But I still have no vision in this eye at all. He said it's 4 or 5 weeks till I should be able to see, partially due to the healing and partially due to the gas bubble that they put in there. They put a bubble in to sort of hold the retina in place so that it has less of a chance of collapsing after the surgical repair. And I can't believe I know all this. It's like I didn't know any of this a few weeks ago. I didn't even know this was a thing that happened to people. And here I am. I'm going to share with you real quick some strategies that I learned to survive in the last week. I have 7 of them. I wrote them down. The first one is shaved ice. You can ice your eye. It's going to hurt the first 3 or 4 days. Don't use ice. Use shaved ice with some water in it, just like this. It is an absolute balm to the pain. For me, the codeine didn't really help, and it made me constipated. So shaved ice was wonderful, and I would highly recommend you do that. And I would just put it on there for 20 minutes, take it off when it got too cold or wet, put it back on, and it really helped with the pain. Second thing was stretches. I found myself, when you lay in bed for 7 days, your body starts to kind of atrophy. And I'm very active, I exercise, I do a lot. I actually just built all this. This is my backyard. And build cars and build things. And so to lay down for 7 days was rough. And I just felt my muscles start hurting. So the strategy I developed, I just started just stretching in my bed. You know, I'd stretch my legs, I'd stretch my back, I'd stretch my neck, I'd stretch my arms, stretch my wrists, and just kind of doing that like every few hours, trying to get my body moving so the blood was pumping. And the worst pain was my back. And that's my third strategy. I have one of those little plug-in Shihatsu massagers. It's like the size of a iPad, and it just has 2 little balls that go around. That thing was a lifesaver. And if you have one of those, I would get it, because my back hurt so bad from laying in bed for a week. And so I got that, and I would use it 2 or 3 times a day, and it made a tremendous difference just in the back pain. My fourth strategy is my cat. You need a cat if you have a vitrectomy. My cat, he laid, I mean, he's a lap cat anyway, so he's always with me. But being home, not at work, the cat was like, oh, okay, here we are. I get unlimited love. And he just laid with me for, so many hours, and it was comforting to have a cat. So you need those little things. Fifth thing is podcasts. Podcasts, music. I listened to the Bible. I listened to the whole book of Job just in a couple sittings, and it was just really profitable, because you're laying there and you really can't do much. I mean, you can do some things, but it's hard because you're laying on your back, so you're having to look up. So if you want to like use a laptop or a phone or a tablet, you kind of have to hold it over your head, and after 10 or 15 minutes your arms start hurting. So just being able to listen to stuff. I was active though, like I laid there, but I actually bought a car on an auction. You can't keep me down, which I will have in another video when we get back to cars one day. But yeah, podcasts, find things to do. The sixth thing is the eyepatch. And so for me, I found myself day 3 or 4 wearing an eyepatch, especially now that it's day 7 and I'm moving around some, and I actually drove yesterday. And if you don't wear an eye patch, what happens is you have this eye that works and you have another eye that's not working, and they're conflicting with each other, and it just makes it very strange. So I found that wearing an eye patch, particularly while driving, was very helpful. And I would just say this too, if you get an eye patch, don't get a cheap $5 cloth one. This was like $21 on Amazon. It's leather, it's very, very nice, it's very comfortable. And I did buy a cloth one, and it like wouldn't stay on. It didn't feel good, pushed against my eye. So spend the money and get a nice eye patch. Excuse me, I got the burps. Last thing, 7th strategy, just plan ahead. You know, if you know you have this coming, get your yard mowed if you do your yard, like get things tied up at your job where you can take a week or 2 off, blah, blah, blah. Do what you need to do. And that way, when you're laying there and you can't do anything, you know, that anxiety starts coming, and it's just a little easier to deal with if you don't have all these things pending. So kind of plan ahead if you can. And the last thing I want to say, just to close this out, man, I want to say, like, I'm so grateful. You know, my vision may not come back, and it's like the first, you know, when this all began a few weeks ago, I just was shocked and was real depressed for a few days. But then I started going through the process, and then I saw the bill, and I was like, oh my gosh. But you know, I got through that, and I'm hoping for a good outcome. But I gotta say, I've become so grateful as I, you know, especially going through the surgery, getting the medicines. Because, I mean, I live in America, and there's people that can do this for me. And it costs money, but what wouldn't you pay for your vision? And the other thing is, it's 2025, and just 10 or 15 years ago, when things like this happened, the success rate was so much lower for people having vision again. The success rate for cataract surgery even 20, 30 years ago was so much lower. And it really is, I mean, the miracle of modern medicine cannot be overstated. That, you know, just the fact that in the midst of this, when you have something tragic happen and you lose your eyesight, that, you know, if you're watching this, you, like me, live in a time when we can do something about it. There's ways, there's technology, there's science, there's study, there's doctors, there's people that are trained to repair it. And it's within reach, you know, and for most of the world and for most of history, that hasn't been the case. So as I've learned more about this condition, I've become so grateful. And I've become grateful to God that I'm able to go through this process that's been really painful and expensive and shocking. And my life has stopped. Like 3 weeks ago, my life stopped because of this. I've lost a bunch of weight. I haven't been to my job in 2 or 3 weeks, and, you know, got bills. But man, to be able to not be stuck in that spot and have a next thing to do to try to get back to some semblance of normalcy, really, the gratitude I've had for that has been just really, really powerful for me, and it's helped me kind of reframe, you know, the whole experience. So, you know, you may not be there yet in your attitude, and I wasn't a week ago, but I'm getting there. You do a lot of thinking when you have to lay down 23 hours a day. So, hey, I hope this video is helpful. If you found it and you're searching vitrectomy and you're going through the same thing, I just want to encourage you, hang in there. Go listen to the book of Job on audio. Find a British guy to narrate it. It's more powerful that way. I'll have another update, probably, did 1 day later, 1 week later. I'll probably do 1 month later. And so look for a third video on this. I appreciate you watching. And if you are, peace to you and God bless you. And we'll see you in the next video. Hang in there.